Howdy YouTube, today we're taking a look at the DC Collectibles Arrow Dark Archer. A really cool figure, one of the latest releases as part of the DC Collectibles Arrow TV show line. Comes in the newer DC Collectibles sleeker style packaging that they're using for the bulk of their figures. Pretty much the exact same box as the Arkham Knight Batman figures and the DC design figures as well. Probably due to cost saving things, but I'm not complaining too much. I remember especially with a lot of the old DC Direct figures, they had the really big bulky boxes that tended to get in the way and make it hard really to display and also to store. But this guy looks really cool indeed. Spoiler, it is obviously, I'm pretty sure Malcolm Merlyn, at least where I'm up to in Arrow at the moment. Really great character. I believe it's Arrow's main villain. Although there's a great rogues gallery that's developing in the Arrow TV show, which is really cool to see. Very excited to get this guy opened up and hopefully give you guys a cool review. And just a look at the back of the packaging. If you haven't had a chance yet, you can check out my other figure reviews. I've done Oliver Queen, Deathstroke, of course, the retro Deathstroke, which is actually a really, really cool figure. Obviously, we've got Dark Archer, Arrow, and Deadshot. So really strong lineup, and Canary, of course. Good wave of figures. If you're a fan of Arrow, even if you're not, some of the designs for these guys, I was never a big Deadshot fan, but I really love the character in the show. So, you know, it's worth picking up if you're a fan of the actual characters themselves, even if you're not a big fan of the show. But let's get this guy opened up. Okay, and here we have Malcolm Merlyn, or Dark Archer, opened up out of the packaging. Really nice figure. I love the design of this guy. It reminds me of a Game of Thrones style medieval, you know, ninja, assassin attire, which really is what the character is. Really, really cool. I'll bring it forward so you guys can see. Nice detail on all the figures that DC Collectibles have been making lately. The cloak does come off, but it doesn't really reveal anything. Just the mask there, which is kind of cool. The arrows in the back don't appear to come out, or if they do, they're in pretty solid, and I think it'll snap. So that's a little bit of a shame, which is something they've done a little differently to the Oliver Queen and the Arrow figures. But lots of nice detail. You can see, obviously, this guy in the show was really, really cool, especially in Season 1, where he was really the main villain, as the undertaking was starting to take shape and take place. Really got a good insight into the character, some really cool moments as well. So awesome, nice detail, pretty happy with this guy. Now, one of the things I think is really cool is that with the Arrow figure, he comes with the old school traditional bow. With Dark Archer being a more modern corporate type assassin, he comes with this really ultra modern high tech bow, which is really cool. I think it's a great comparison. He's got a retro look, but really modern technology, as opposed to Arrow, who's much sleeker but still got that old school weapon. So really cool figure, really cool accessory as well. He does also come with an arrow. One thing that's interesting is the arrow is pretty much the exact same as the ones that came with the Arrow figure, so it's a straight up, basically they've just added that in. It's not even a repaint, which is a bit of a shame. It's a nitpicky thing, but in the show he uses different arrows, and that's one of the main reasons they find out that there's a second Archer out there. So it would have been nice if they'd gone to that extra little bit of detail. Finally, in terms of articulation, he's got a ball-jointed head, but it's really restricted due to the hood, which is a bit of a shame. He's got ball-jointed arms, ball-jointed elbows, ball-jointed wrists, which is really cool. No movement in the waist, or if there is, it's concealed by and actually really hindered by the attire, which is quite a shame. It feels like there is something there. And then ball-jointed legs, it looks like. It's the new leg articulation where it moves out and in, forward and back. One of the things I love about this guy is that, yes, the articulation is restricted, but at least they covered up the, I guess, the gap in the joint that was present on the Oliver Queen and the Arrow figure. He does have double bend at the knee, which is really cool. No movement in the feet, but a ball joint in the ankle. So decent range of articulation. The sad part about it is you can't get to all of it just because of the limitations with the costume. So, should you buy this guy? If you're a fan of the Arrow TV show, then yes, absolutely he's worth getting, just because he's such a major villain, especially in Season 1, and then he reoccurs in Season 2, and then I'm not up to Season 3 quite yet. So from that side of it, yes, he's worth getting. I'm a collector, so for me, having lots of articulation isn't a big deal, because I like to normally just display my figures. Having said that, though, this guy is very limited just by the attire and the way he's been designed here in figure form. So if you take that into account, you take into account the fact that this guy, at least in Australia, is selling for some stores $45 to $50, which is ridiculous. You can probably give this guy a miss. Again, I really like the figure. I'm glad I picked it up. I actually picked it up for $30, which I was really happy with. But still, the prices of these figures are starting to go up and up, especially as of late. So you really need to be wary of some of the ones that are out there. This guy, again, if you're a fan of the series, grab him. If not, you can probably give a miss.